I've been a photographer since I was a child, and I my previous incarnation after going to RIT for photography in Rochester Institute of Tech was I assisted and then became a fashion and advertising and celebrities photographer. I've got a few examples of it. I refer to it as my previous incarnation because it was an entire part of my life. I'm grateful to have done it. I'm grateful for the equipment it allowed me to buy, for the traveling it allowed me to do, and for the work habits and ability to deal with pressure. But I thank God I'm done with it, that I haven't done any of it for 2.5 decades, almost 3 decades. I've done a few little commercial jobs, but I always joke and say, I quote them a telephone number, and if they're willing to pay it, I'll do it. And I always joke and say it's an international telephone number with country code and city code, and then 7 more numbers. But I really don't want to do that anymore because I got sick and tired of bringing all my creativity to bear on selling other people's stuff. And that's what it is. You're selling other people's stuff, goods and services. Yes, I worked with great fashions, traveled to great places, met interesting people. And that was a great thing to do between 20 and 40, 45. Joe, can you click to the next image or do I do that? There you go. There I am in my previous incarnation in Patti Lupone's dressing room. That's me when I was a lot younger and a lot thinner. I'm using the Hasselblad MK70, which you may recognize is the same model they used on the moon. So I was having great fun taking that picture. And next, can I do that here, or do you want to? Can you do it for me? You do it? Okay, great. This is another fashion shot. I love shooting in Paris. This is for the client line elite, self-explanatory. Next. And this was for, as I said, Paris Vogue, the New York issue. They had me photograph one product or bit from each shop in those days, I should say, the new Trump Towers. I'm sorry, there's a mistake there. That should be 1984. My bad, my mistake. That's 1984. It is correct in the copyright notice, but not in the title. And one of the objects to be photographed in Trump Towers was Donald Trump. Next. My interview cover of Jodie Foster. Next. And a signed Polaroid. Jodie was one of the most incredible people I've ever met. Brilliant sense of humor, sharp as a whip, highly educated, highly intelligent, and just a brilliant actor and director. And as you can see, a real Veronica Lake lookalike contest winner. Next. So this is what I used to do for fun. Now, many years ago, about 25, 26 years ago, about a quarter of a century ago, I started experimenting with alternate process. This is platinum palladium print. We have these beautiful white lilies here in Barbados that have this intensely strong smell. It's you know, you've heard the terms heady. It's almost overwhelming. It's so strong. You bring it in your living room and the whole place, it's like you walked into a perfume shop. It's incredible. That's platinum palladium. Next. This is a platinum palladium print. I've been working on a project of photographs of Florence and Tuscany, all black and white fine art. And this is a platinum palladium print of the Duomo Siena. Next. I did a project that was, the working title was Desiccated, but I named the show Things Unseen into Things Known, a quote, sort of a changed quote of Weston, because there are all these little dried objects all over the island that nobody pays any attention to. And when you move in close to them and enlarge them, they take on this new sensuous light. This thing is about not even an inch tall. Next. This is a salt print of an Etruscan gate in Volterra from the same project of Florence and Tuscany. Next. One of my URANO listening to the blues. These are examples. I have many, many more prints in each of these genres and each of these processes. But in order not to bore you, I figured I'd just, show you the background before. I think very soon we get into URANO. There we are, the mahogany nut. Um, they're so amazing. You know, when they're on the tree, you all know mahogany wood. It's beautiful hardwood. If you buy furniture made from it, it's really expensive. I don't own any. I live here with world famous Barbadian mahogany, and I can't afford any. But when it opens up, it's almost like Audrey 2. You know, it looks like it from another planet. You expect it to singing "Feed Me Seymour" or something, just so otherworldly, especially when you move in on it. I love uranotype printing because part of it's the color. And it varies. It's almost impossible to get two prints the same color. It's anywhere between this sort of warm to a sort of magenta warm, a magenta brown. I refer to it's either old wine or old roses. You know, if you leave wine in a glass and you sits out overnight, it goes more brown. You know, a wine's past its prime. You there from Napa Valley know that wine is past its prime when the rim goes brownish purple as opposed or brownish red. Well, that's almost what these uranotypes are like. There's something so beautiful about the color. They actually, I believe the patent was 1850s. I have all that in my video. Jessica has the video links if you like them. I believe it was patented around 1850. It was very popular during the second half of the 19th century for portraits because people love the warm magenta sort of brownish look for portraits. And then along came manufactured platinum palladium paper where you could buy a box of platinum palladium coated paper and then silver gelatin Kodak and blah, blah, blah. So it died quickly. It is a highly toxic process. As I say in my video, you need to know and learn and use good lab technique. If you do, you're fine, but I wouldn't want to mess with it if you don't know good lab technique because uranyl nitrate, it's very, very mildly radioactive. Everyone's so worried about they hear uranium. It's very mildly radioactive, but it is actually a very potent nerve toxin. So you don't mess with the stuff. You handle it with gloves. When you mix it, use goggles and respirator. And when you coat your paper, use gloves and you throw them away. And probably better that you take them to a waste disposal dump. But wash them very well. You use very, very small amounts. This is definitely not a green process. You use very small amounts of the uranyl nitrate, but you don't want to ingest it or get it on your skin. Next image. This is the one that I did not have a print ready for that Jessica wanted. So I sent another one, but this is obviously a ginger lily. See, it's a little more magenta. This print's a little more magenta. Next. These are grapes in Chianti, part of the project of the Florence and Tuscany project. They're Sangiovese grapes, shot with a 2 1/4 negative, my Hasselblad, and I made an enlarged negative and then printed it with uranotype. Next. To me, this one is, it's not meant in any way humorously, but it's meant very seriously, but there's a strange analogy between using uranium to make art when the bomb dropped on Hiroshima was a uranium bomb. The bomb dropped on Nagasaki was a plutonium bomb. So in memory of the horror that occurred at 8:15 that morning, August 9th, 1945, this is a picture of my Zen garden in my backyard. And it is an undeniable fact that uranyl nitrate is available to us as a result of nuclear energy. It comes to us because they assay the spent uranium with nitric acid, and the leftover stuff is sold for mostly, believe it or not, to dye thinly sliced samples for electron microscopy. It increases the density and the contrast in electron microscopy. But those of us who are crazy enough to risk working with it, make prints with it. Next. Madonna con la bambina, obviously referential to all of those Renaissance paintings and those just pre-Renaissance paintings the Sienese school, etc., of Madonna col bambino. But this is my wife and daughter when we first brought my daughter home. I saw them cuddling once, and I just said to myself, man, I know it's been done before, déjà vu, but it's so personal that there is something universal about this. It is why they painted so many Madonna col bambino, Madonna col le bambine, whatever, mothers and sons. Well, mine's mother and daughter. And I just thought that the warmth of it was very sensual and beautiful. Next. This one, I purposely shot it with a 2 megapixel point and shoot digital camera because I wanted it noisy and rough and I have these great film cameras. I have a really good digital DSLR, but I wanted the texture. And so I shot it with the point and shoot, and then again, took the file and enlarged it, made a negative with it, made this URANOtype. See, for me, what's fun with URANOtype is the color suggests subjects. To me, the color of the print hints at subjects, and you think of things that might work in it. It could be used for many other things. I'm not saying this is the only options, but it's the things that I enjoy, and so I made URANOtype images of them. Next. And this is the one that's in the show, Curly Seed Bug. This is the one that you've seen. This is actually about 2 inches long. Again, what I did is I moved in very close. This was from the Desiccated show, the Things Unseen and the Things Known show. Moved in very close, used focus stacking, and shot it digitally, and then created an enlarged negative with my 3880 printer, just like the one over your shoulder there, Jessica, and made a URANOtype print of it. So that's pretty much what I've been doing with URANOtypes. I do a lot of other work, but I'm very fascinated by the sensual feel of these prints. So as I said, I'm always looking for new subjects to print of it. And there you go.
All right, thanks, Bob. Does anybody have any questions? I'll pop those links to Bob's videos here in the chat.
I see a gold hand. Does that mean she has a question?
Oh,
Clapping, sorry.
Oh, thank you. I didn't know if that was a raised hand. Thank you very much. Any questions? No, guess not.
all right. Well, thanks, everybody. I hope that you all have had a chance. I'm going to also put the links to see the show online if you haven't seen it. It is really beautiful. And of course, if you are in Albuquerque or can come to Albuquerque, we'd love to have you. And we're just on the last couple weeks of the show, and then we're on to something else. But I want to thank everybody so much for speaking and coming out tonight. And if we have no more questions, we'll call it a night. All right, thanks everyone. Yeah, Bob.
I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to participate. I appreciate it.
Well, you're welcome, and thank you for sending your work to us and persevering through the volcanic activity to send us a different piece, but it's still a lovely piece. Oh, Nancy's just coming back. We'll give her a chance to get back on, and then we'll say goodbye.
I'm back.
Hi, Nancy. We just lost you for a little while, but we were just finishing up, so we're ready to say goodbye unless anyone has any more questions. All right, I'll get those links out to you.
No, but thank you again. It's been, I wish I could see the show in person.
Yeah, it is beautiful, and we wish you all the luck in getting your fires out of control, in control, and Smoke cleared up.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, everybody.
Thank you.